Fellas, have you started spring cleaning yet? The carpets need cleaning, the drapes need dusting, and your lawn needs mowing. Spring has sprung, and the global leaders in below-the-waist grooming have the best tools for cleaning aisle 5 in your pants. Time to clear out your winter bush and join the other 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code TAGS, TAGS. Hey, what is going on? You are listening to Tags Podcast, aka Talk About Gay Sex Podcast. I'm your host, Steve V. This is episode 355. Welcome back, Lincoln. How are you doing?
Hello,
Lincoln?
it's been a minute. I miss you guys. How are you guys doing? It's good to hear you.
Really good. We miss you, and I'm really glad you're here. So happy. Also joining us, of course, Kodi, Maurice, Doggette. How the hell are you doing, Kodi?
Hello, darling. I forgot my line. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you guys doing this lovely evening?
I'm doing really good. You know, I want to hear about your weekends.
Yes.
Just to give you a little bit of update. I'm walking. I broke my ankle, but I'm walking in sneakers, and it feels so good to have spring here and walking around. I walk very slow, you guys, but if you're willing to keep up with my slow speed, I'm here to go, and I love it. And like Carrie, and just like that, I have a very sexy physical therapist.
Oh.
He's so sexy.
Where is he, Stephen?
It's Mount Sinai Physical Therapy in Union Square. He probably wouldn't. He's totally straight and married because I saw the ring on his finger. Eric Chan is his name.
Nice.
Oh boy! And what made it even better is that he broke his ankle like 20 years ago.
Okay.
So not only is he really hot to look at, and I'm fantasizing about him, but he knows what I'm going through, and he has all the exact stretches and exercises to get me going, and it just so helps. And especially when he's massaging it, it's just, my ankle. It's great. So I'm so happy I'm in good hands, and little by little I'm getting better and better, and I'm so happy. You know, Kodi, you went to a wedding this weekend. And
I did.
Little known fact, I keep up so much for this show, y'all. I watch some of the craziest things, like, I forget, on CBS. It's not Entertainment Tonight, but the show that comes before Entertainment with Deborah Norville. And they were saying on there that weddings are, of course, because all weddings got canceled all in the last 2 years.
Mhm.
Everybody's getting married. I'm going to 2 weddings this year.
Oh.
You went to a wedding. However, they're kind of super spreader events. And some people were saying on the news report that they're requiring their guests to get vaccinated to show proof of vaccination. And I thought, that's so smart.
That would have
You
been
told
smart.
me that they weren't doing that at yours.
They did not.
Can you tell us?
I feel fine. I am going to get tested tomorrow because
okay, because you're not coming over here.
I'm coming to hug and kiss you first, of course. And then right after, I'm going to go get tested. But no, I'm fine. The wedding was fantastic. It was beautiful. Everybody kept asking me and Joe when we're getting married, which is kind of awkward. I know, right? It's just awkward for me because I would never have thought that would come out of his family's mouth, because I don't know. It's just like a disconnect as far as gay relationships and straight relationships. They have different,
timelines.
Exactly. And different, just people don't think of gay relationships as getting married. So that's why it caught me off guard the first time, but then it kept happening. So I just thought that was a very interesting thing that happened during the wedding. So.
Got it. Well, stay safe. I'm sure you're fine. But Lincoln, you are on the brink of going on some trips here. What can you tell us about the trips you're going on? Are you worried about COVID? What's going on?
Well, we're both getting our second booster tomorrow morning. So that's exciting because I'm
Yes.
looking forward to that, and that being kind of under our belt before we get on a plane on Friday morning. We're flying
Yes.
to California for 10 days and staying at my house out there. So we're away from people. We're not in a hotel. We're not around people a lot unless we want to be. I'm also in the habit now of when we fly to San Francisco, we just rent a car at the airport. We
Oh,
drive
nice.
into the city, we go to the Castro, we go to Hot Cookie, we get a burrito, we walk around if it's nice. I used to go to Cafe Floor when it was open, but it's no longer open. It's
Yeah.
heartbreaking, very
Sadness.
sad. And then we drive into Walnut Creek and we have a night, and then I just return the car out there the next day. So we're not
Got
in
it.
an Uber with another driver. We're not on BART. We're not, you know what I mean? Depending on other people. And we just kind of like it that way anyway, COVID or no COVID.
Yeah.
And we're seeing family. We're not, you know, we haven't been out dancing or out swinging from the rafters or any of that at the moment. We did go to the Eagle once or twice. We've been going, like we were talking about before the show started, we've been going to theater a lot because we feel like if everyone in the theater has to show proof of vaccination and they're making people keep their masks up the whole time, and we could just leave and come home after, at least there's a bit of a security,
Yeah.
no matter what degree that is. You know, there have, as we all know, like Nancy Pelosi just turned positive, Eric Adams
Yep.
just became positive. So it's becoming more and more common and less, what's the word I'm looking for? Serious.
Sporadic. Yeah.
Or no, like the illness itself.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
People seem to have it a lighter strain. But,
Okay.
and if we get it, we get it. We both are kind of
Yeah.
resolved with that. A couple weeks ago, there was someone who tested positive at the gym and who was taking my class. So, you know, everyone got tested and we let everyone know, but that's not a requirement anymore. So that kind of comes and goes. But we're looking forward to I'm just looking forward to getting away from New York City. New York City is tapping us out. And Steve, as you're walking around slowly in New York, please be careful on the sidewalk, not on the sidewalk, the electric bikes, the people going, not paying attention. It's everywhere. People are knocking each other over everywhere.
Oh yeah,
Please
I'm
be
riding my
careful.
bike actually. I'm riding the electric bikes. I'm riding the bike, and but I pull myself to the edge of. I'm so funny. I'm like an old man. I don't look like an old man, but I walk like an old man sort of, and I pull myself to the edges of the streets, and
Yeah.
But little by little, it's all getting there, and it's all
Just be
good.
careful. Yeah.
I am. Yeah.
Good.
Thank you so much. Oh, okay. So we got to get into some hot topics. And this one, I cannot wait for you guys to weigh in. There was a tweet, Kodi, I think you sent me this
Okay.
of a viral tweet that went postal that goes like this. When gay boys turn 13 years old, the universe assigns them one woman working in entertainment.
I did send
From
you.
that point forward, their purpose on earth becomes supporting this woman so hard that the force of their love of her could literally kill them. I love this tweet because it does resonate with me. And you said, Kodi, it's like one, it's like two. I'm just going to read you a few of the ones that I can totally relate to. Guapo Negro on Twitter wrote, "Forever, it will never stop. I love her because I love her." And it's a picture of him in his bedroom with Janet Jackson posters from Rhythm
That's mine.
Nation to on and on and on. And that's one of mine.
Right?
So, like you, I have more than one. It was Janet Jackson. It was Madonna first and Janet Jackson. And I got confused with Cyndi Lauper when she came out with Girls Just Want to Have Fun for a minute. And then I went into Madonna. But people wrote on here, I was assigned Gaga, which I love. Somebody wrote, this is really funny to me because I'm so happy with the women that I chose are still living and working and doing their thing. Somebody chose, oh my gosh, who, it hasn't been easy, but damn it, ride or die. And it's, oh gosh, what is her name?
Christina Aguilera?
No, she's like had a really mess of a career
Britney
and
Spears? There's a lot of them. I can keep going.
Lindsay Lohan. Sorry, Lindsay Lohan was this person.
Oh my God, I'm
Lohan.
going to get canceled. Please cut this
Lindsay Lohan. Somebody
out.
wrote, okay, but why is mine Queen Latifah, and why was it specific because of
Ooh.
her role in Last Holiday? Somebody wrote Madonna, of course. She can be a handful, but we are still going strong, and it's Madonna's butt in the air. I gotta ask you. We all know Lincoln. I'm sure yours was Madonna when you were younger, and why? And what do you think that theory is that we gravitate towards strong, powerful women like this?
I also was a big Cyndi Lauper person. I love Cyndi Lauper more than Madonna at the beginning. I didn't really catch the Madonna bug. I was Cyndi, and I actually went to an AIDS dance-a-thon when you used to get sponsors and you had to dance the entire AIDS dance-a-thon.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, it was at the pier in San Francisco, and Queen Latifah performed.
Whoa.
And I remember I was like, she's amazing. You know what I mean? But I was
okay, all hail the Queen.
I also went down to Thompson Twins, Depeche Mode, The Cure. I was all into that, deep into it. So
Duran.
Yeah, but I remember I went to the Who's That Girl tour, and I had general admission tickets. So we went really early at the what was the Shoreline Amphitheater?
That's where I went. We were probably there too. I was in,
and I brought a white pad of paper and pencils, and I drew Madonna portraits and sold them for $10 each. I made $100.
Oh wow!
And we listened to her do the sound check.
You got to draw me that.
We got to the very front of the gate where the gate where I remember it being a gate where the general admission was in the past, way up at the top, and people were pushing so hard that my arms were bloody at the end of the concert.
Wow. That was probably me pushing you, Lincoln. Sorry, I apologize after all these years, but
if I know if you ever need to leave a club because of an emergency, just get behind me. I know why everyone wanted me to play football in high school. I will flatten innocent people in a heartbeat now. I'm jaded the rest of my life, but I think I don't know. I guess we emulate things that inspire us, and she was such an activist back then for free speech and pushing the envelope, and she was also doing what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? I
definitely know what you mean. I think the reason, definitely she was rebellious. She was out there. She was proud. She was unapologetic, which I love that word. It's one of her words she uses in her songs. And I think for a shy gay boy, I'm speaking for myself, of course, that spoke to me of who I could be in the midst of people teasing and my shyness and all these things that I was trying to overcome, that she through music gave me permission to be kind of that underground rebelliousness and explore that side. And on the other hand, Janet Jackson, the album was Control. If you go back to the first album, Control, and it was all about finding control, and I'm in control of my life.
So this is my question to you, not to interrupt you, but is it the person or is it the character that they create, the energy and the meaning that they create? Because that's what it's always been for me. Like I can feel that with Cyndi Lauper, with Madonna, with Adina, even especially in Wicked and Elphaba.
Well, it's a little bit of
little
both.
Green girl, or Gaga and everything she's represented.
I think it's a little bit of both, and it's where pop culture combines in my mind. Because if you look, so for example, if you just took like a standard piece of artwork and you're looking at like a painting, it provokes stuff out of you. But pop culture, a pop artist they're on stage when they're on the red carpet. They're on stage when they're recording. They're on stage when you're listening to them, when they're at the American Music Awards. And so pop culture combines all of that. So to me, it's a combination of all of those things that just makes you ignite and makes you excited and makes you want to see them on David Letterman or press play on your CD recorder or whatever it is.
Right.
And So I think it's for me, it's a combination of both. Um, Kodi, who was your mistress of ceremonies that
Well,
that
when I was younger, of course, it was Janet Jackson because I lived for her. Like you, her music just spoke to me. The Control album was.
oh,
I was really young then, but I was like, I want to be the one in control. Okay.
okay.
But then as I got older and I started to come into my own sexuality, her journey as far as discovering herself and her sexuality in the Janet album, in the Velvet Rope. Oh my God, the Velvet Rope put me
Oh.
through changes.
Okay.
That
I
was when I
love
was
that.
just coming out, and it just really spoke to me on every level. But like you, I have so many. I really love Beyonce. I know, Steve, you don't.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I don't. I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
I really, really love Beyonce because she is just an all-around fantastic performer, and she just does it. She's the best in the game to me. So, yeah, those are my top two. But I could keep going if you really, really, really want me to.
I just love that people, it's funny who you pick and then you look back on, and somebody poked Lindsay Lohan, and their comment was, it hasn't been easy, but damn it, ride or die.
Yeah.
It's like you have to go with the person that you picked. Of course, who were some of the other? Cher, 7-year-old me
Cher
discovered
was
Cher
big for me
on a
too.
Sunday night. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially
Of
with
course.
Moonstruck. Moonstruck was my family through and
Oh,
through. Through and through.
love
Like
that
everything about
movie.
that movie.
Grace Jones, her
Mm.
work speaks for itself. That's a great one. Somebody else, of course, 14-year-old when this was released, Kylie Minogue. Yeah, so all
Were
kinds
you an
of
Alison
just
Moyet person at all? Do you even know? Yeah, it's
yes,
upstairs at Eric.
yes, of
Yeah,
course. I
she was.
loved
I
all that.
followed her for years. Heavy, thin, solo career. I love her. And Tracy Thorn from
Oh
Everything But
my
the
God,
Girl.
everything but
And
the
did you?
girl.
I heard her recently in an interview talking about when he got sick and everyone thought he had
Yes,
AIDS,
there's
but
a
he didn't
great
have AIDS. And I was
NPR
like, oh my
article.
God, it's so good.
I love her. She's still, she's in
Still
and out of
making music.
music, but she's a writer, and I love Tracy Thorn so
Me
much. Of
too.
course, Lisa Stansfield
I
for me, of
Great
mean,
call.
course.
Great
she's
call. That's a great one.
amazing.
But I
We could
also,
go
back
on
in
and
the day, Debbie Gibson and Electric Youth and Tiffany
yeah,
and all that, I was down with all that too. And
I love it.
I went to the Debbie Gibson concert and actually flirted with a dancer
Did
and
you?
ended up hooking up with
Oh.
him after the concert. Shocking, but there's a
There's
way
a
in.
current, there's last year Debbie came out with a dance track that's actually
I
not
think it's
bad,
Deborah now.
Lincoln.
Is it Deborah
Oh,
now?
sorry,
It is Deborah.
it's her last dance single is actually really good. I have to say, I'm just putting it out there. Check
Okay.
it out. We've got to move on though. All right, Florida. A little bit, we've had some fun here, but the Center for Disease Control, CDC, has issued a health alert about an outbreak of meningococcal disease in Florida. I
Oh
think that's
my.
the official name of it, that's mainly affecting gay and bisexual men. In response to the outbreak, the CDC has taken the step of advising gay men in the state to get vaccinated, especially if they have HIV. And they also recommend gay men to get a booster shot if they have had the vaccine for more than 5 years. And they're talking about the meningococcal, that's what it's called,
What is that?
disease.
I'm sorry, I'm very ignorant. I need to.
Meningitis,
Oh, it's
essentially,
meningitis.
meningitis,
Okay.
which, as many know, I remember getting this. It can affect the brain.
Yeah,
Oh my.
meningitis is serious.
Yeah, and so I remember years ago, not years ago, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, here in New York, I went to a gay sex club here in New York City. And at the gay sex club at 2 in the morning, they were giving meningitis vaccinations there because there was an outbreak here in New York City. And I was like, oh my God, like, should I get it? Should I not get it? I was on the fence, but I thought, you know what? If they think enough of them to have it here at this establishment, I'm just going to get it. And I got it. And I was so happy I did. because I did more research on it and I learned about meningitis, and left untreated, like we said, it can really affect the brain and cause serious damage to an individual. And so when these things happen, I mean, have you heard of these things, Lincoln, of meningitis? Have you been vaccinated for it? And
I don't know
what's
if
your
I've
thoughts on
been
this?
vaccinated for meningitis. I'm pretty sure that I have.
Mhm.
I'm having a lot of issues with the healthcare community right now, so that's another one to check. I have a friend who actually got meningitis prior to the pandemic, and through sexual contact with other people, and he was in the hospital for a long time. It was
Oh my.
very, very serious. So I haven't, that's my only real experience with it. I know that there was an outbreak in New York City, again, pre-pandemic, a long time ago. But with everything going on in Florida, it doesn't surprise me. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of activity down there. A lot of people moved to Florida. Like, I haven't been to the Wilton Manor situation, but from everything I see online, it's quite the situation.
Yeah, so what the way this works is it's typically in confined areas in cities,
Mhm.
and they say that it's primarily currently in Florida, and those coming into Florida should just be aware of it. I mean, what are your thoughts on this, Cody, when you hear about something like this?
It's just sad. I think that people should just be as safe as possible. Of course, get vaccinated for it and just be on the lookout for it. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, moving on. We all love, or many of us know, the YouTuber Michael Henry.
Mhm.
He has returned with his latest video, which is very funny. It's an indictment of size fetishism in the queer community. The sketch pits Henry against his frenemies, Bruce and Jax, in a debate over, well, let's just call it length privilege. Michael slams Jax for complaining about the woes of life as a tall bottom, alleging he's hypnotized, not hypnotized, but hypnotized. In other words, entitled because he's tall. Michael also alleges that Jax exaggerates his size to appeal to other men and in more ways than just his elevation. Everyone is hypnotized, Jax charges. Gays, and especially the straights, they're insane over height. If you had to choose between a shrimp of a man and a tall man that could toss you around, you would choose the tall man. Admit it. Is he right? Well, the skit is really funny. I'll post it on TAGSPODCAST.com. And it does bring up the question, Lincoln, as the tall man on the crew here, how tall are
Hold
you?
on, wait a
Six.
minute.
6'2.5". 6'2". Well, I was 6'2", and then I lost a little with the hip replacement stuff. So I'm a little under 6'2".
Okay, well, let's just make you 6'2",
That's fine.
and for the sake of
For the
conversation
sake of
here,
argument. In
yeah,
my boots, I'm
and
almost 6'3". So let's go with the boots.
with the
I was
heels
just about to
on,
say
The
with
heels
heels.
on. That's
yeah.
funny.
Have you noticed guys come for you because of your height, and has that ever been a thing? And question number 2 is, has height ever been a thing for you? Being a taller man, what do you look for?
Yeah, Peter's gonna have a stroke when I say this, but I was always like
Turn the mic
I've
down.
had a lot of shorties in my life that have been significant relationships, and I like a shorter person's proportions can sometimes, it's a good proportion. It can be sexy. So I could be into that. I've been into that in the past. Peter has excellent proportions and is almost as tall as me. So that's sexy as well. And I know a lot of people like the tall thing. It's also worked in the opposite direction where people go, no, you're too tall for me. You're too big for me. It's not my thing. So,
Mm.
to each his own. What do you say?
Yeah.
Right.
It's so funny, yeah, because like for example, my sister's, of course, she's gonna like have a stroke now that I'm not calling her out on this, but she's really into height. She's a taller woman. I mean, not super tall, and she wears heels, so she likes them to be taller than her.
Okay.
And I don't know that I've ever had an issue with it. I love I'm currently writing a short story, a gay erotic, a short story about a guy that was 6'3", and he enveloped me. And I'm writing words like that. He
Ooh.
enveloped me. And I mean, he just really took me under that whole spell of just bigness that was so hot and sexy. On the other hand, I tend to be attracted to guys or have that are around my height or even shorter these days. So I don't I think I love the fluidity of it all. I love that I can be drawn to a super tall guy, a short guy, and I'm kind of into all of it, and which makes for variety.
Yeah.
Kodi, what are your thoughts on this? As how tall are you, Kodi?
I am 5'9 3/4".
Okay.
No, I don't. I'm 5'9". So I think that us being average height people, we get that privilege of not really having a preference as far as shorter people are concerned or taller people are concerned, because we can see the beauty in both of them.
Yeah.
I am dating my boyfriend now. He's on the shorter side.
Okay.
And I do enjoy that I can just wrap him up in my arms and hold him tightly. That is very appealing to me. But there's also something that's appealing about climbing that big tree. So
Uh-huh.
so I think that it more for me, like Lincoln was saying, it's about body proportion. I like a thicker guy, and that generally tends to be men that are on the shorter side. That they're more not stable, substantial. Is that the word I want to look for? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what we're all saying, and it kind of sounds like we're all on the same page of, in the end, it's all about who the chemistry, what you're drawn to. That, yes, we all have certain things that we might be drawn to, but really it comes down to chemistry in the end. And I think that's kind of the beauty of it all. And I like that idea of it. Um, we have advice and we love giving advice to our listeners. And a listener wrote into us, and he goes by M, and he says, I have been together with my partner close to 18 years. There is a 10-year difference between us. I am currently 40 and he is 50. We haven't really had routine sex in close to 3 years, mainly due to his physical and emotional health. The only really time it comes up is when he's drunk or on a birthday, and he'll joke, it's that time of year. Oh gosh, all
Mm.
right.
Oh my goodness.
We are in a closed relationship, which was fine when we were having sex regularly, but it's frustrating because whenever I bring it up, he promises to work on it but never does. Any advice? Any advice? I do love him and would never cheat, but I miss sex, especially a good blowjob, which I have never gotten since the beginning. It's beginning to affect my mental health. I enjoy listening to your program and value your opinion. Thanks, M. So this is a really interesting, I was really touched. Thank you so much, M, for writing
Yeah.
in. And it sounds like you really want to work on this and you have something there. And I think this is something that I'm just going to put it out there, that can be fixed. Lincoln, what are your thoughts when you hear this, about their relationship, and what advice would you have for them?
I think using fantasy and communication is always the way to go, right?
Yeah.
So try, if it's something that you really want and you really want to get over that hurdle, I think the more that we use fantasy and communication is the way to get there. And your true intention and your true desires can happen given give it a little time, give it a little working around the edges. I think I don't want to overstep, but what do you think, Stephen?
Yeah, so I think that it sounds like he's trying brought it up to his partner before, given what he said here, and every time it's like, I'll try and work on it. So clearly that's not
But
working.
could
Mhm.
it
So when
be brought to the table in a different way without just talking about it?
and that's exactly where I was going. And I wrote this word. I keep saying this word, and I didn't realize that it was a hotbed word, that pivot. I keep saying pivot in a lot of. If you listen to our latest podcast, I keep saying pivot, and then I heard something recently that pivot was the word of 2021, 2020.
Oh,
I'm like,
that's funny.
and as a hot topic guy here, there's no wonder that I would pick up on that.
Yeah.
But I do love the word pivot. It does remind me of when I was a gymnast, and pivot meant a lot of other things. But I do think when something isn't working in the way you're bringing it up, so if it's not working when you bring it up and he's like, oh, well, or if he's only bringing sex up on the birthday thing, which, sorry, sounds like an old man thing to do to me. Just saying
Steve.
that you need, that it does,
Yeah.
it just does, that you gotta then pivot. And what brings to mind is spontaneity
Oh.
and find ways of being spontaneous. So one thing that can always be fun with a partner is massage. And who doesn't, for the most part, who doesn't love a good massage? Or from a foot massage to a full-on massage, you do the math. That initiating a massage when you're sitting there watching TV can lead to intimacy and maybe reconnecting in different ways in a spontaneous way. So I use the word pivot, but finding new ways to pivot. If you've been together for that long,
Mhm.
finding new ways to pivot to find that intimacy can be kind of a game and a fun game. And finding massage time, I do this with myself. I've turned off the TV in because I think we get so caught up in routine. So it's nighttime, the TV has to be on. It's like, well, or I could turn the TV off and light some candles and read this book that actually I've been wanting to read and pivot. And it's changed the game for me just as a solo person here, a single person. And I think if you do that with your partner, the intimacy can lead to then intimacy on, like, forget having the conversation. If that's not working with you, start initiating. Maybe give him a blowjob and go from there and start initiating sex without asking and having the conversation. Because I think sometimes initiating and doing and the act of doing can give you results, and the person doesn't have a chance to really think about it.
Yeah.
You're so passionate about it, and I think that would be the way that I would go about it, is just find new moments, be in the moment where phones are off, you can put some music on, you can light some candles, it's you alone time. And I think that could be kind of fun. I mean, hey guys, your buddy Steve V here, host of Tags Podcast. And boy, if you're like me, I am so happy spring is here. Many of you may know I broke my ankle back in December, and all winter long I've been cooped up. But just in time for spring, I am ready to go, get outside, meet the boys. That's right. And I looked down under and I needed some cleaning up because, when I was held up with my leg, there wasn't really much need to do any manscaping. Well, since I'm back on track, oh boy, I cannot tell you, I'm so glad I have Manscaped products. The weed whacker for my nose, the lawnmower for my bush. All these great products and more have really helped prepare me to reemerge for this spring. I cannot wait. And that's why Manscaped has the full package you need for spring cleaning this year. The Performance Package 4.0 is the only tool you'll need to keep your boys looking and smelling like fresh tulips your partner wants. To start off your spring cleaning, use the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer to get the most precise shave on your hedges. Did we mention it's waterproof as well? No need to worry about watering your grass with this tool. Equipped with an LED light so you know it'll be a major asset to the new shower routine. Clean your holes and smell the spring air with the Weed Whacker. This nose and ear hair trimmer provide proprietary skin-safe technology which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate holes. And after clearing your nose, make sure to get rid of that foul ball smell with the Crop Preserver and Crop Reviver. I love these products. The Crop Preserver is an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. The Crop Reviver is a spray-on toner for your balls. Keep your boys from sticking to your leg and leave them smelling like fresh flowers. Finish off your grooming routine with the Plow 2.0, the perfect razor for the finest shave on your face. The start of spring also marks the start of Testicular Cancer Awareness Month in April, and Manscaped has partnered with Testicular Cancer Society to bring awareness to testicular cancer, men's health, and early cancer detection. Manscaped is committed to raising awareness for the most common form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35 and giving support for fighters, survivors, and families impacted by testicular cancer as a part of their We Save Balls initiative. So here's the deal. Get 20% off plus free shipping with our code TAGS, T-A-G-S, by going to manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code TAGS, T-A-G-S, at manscaped.com. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. You've talked about this a little bit in the past, Lincoln, where you put on lights.
We have our Black Party weekend moment.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's sexy.
Share, if you could just share a little bit about those moments, because I think this could be helpful for this
Well,
listener on how,
the other thing I was going to say, and again, I hesitate in bringing everything back to COVID and the 2 years we've gone through. But how long have they been together? Did he say in his 10 years?
Oh, well, sorry. 18 years.
So you've been together 18 years and you just got through a pandemic for 2 years with shelter in place and all of the things that made us more and more together. Like you just said, come home, watch TV. We can't go out. We can't do this. So maybe just by the fact that the world is opening again, you guys could do some things outside of your home that get you attracted to each other in a different light, in a different way, that you could bring back to home together.
That sounds good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sorry, it took me a moment to get there, but I got there.
You know what? That does make sense, because the routine of being you've just acknowledged what we've all gone through, and gave them props for that, and how brilliant would date night out would be to go out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The whole concept of date night, or going for a walk in the park, or going to an event and then going to another event, or going, one day soon, I hope, to a bar or a nightclub where there's some dancing, something outside. All of our prides are coming, no matter where you live in the world.
Yeah.
Pride is coming, 4th of July is coming, Labor Day is coming, and with those come little events that don't have to be a big circuit party, just a fun event that could kind of make you see each other in another light, and at the same time give inventory to where you stand in the world. Because we are all, I personally, I should only speak for myself, I am in a phase of PTSD of mask, not mask, what are people saying to me, where are they coming from? People walk into the bakery every different speed possible. Some people are coming in very shy. Some people come in, they want to lose 100 pounds in a week, but they still want a cookie. Some people are like keto
That would be
crazy.
me.
Like some people are carb crazy. And it's like, this is a symptom of a much bigger problem. And I was at a gay birthday party yesterday that had about 50 people there. And a big part of the conversation that I didn't even bring up, other people were bringing up how awkward they feel back in public.
Oh, wow.
How they don't know how to start a conversation without talking about how they lost their job, or they lost their parent, or the pandemic's been so hard, or this is so hard, or I gained 30 pounds and I can't wear the clothes I wanted to wear, and I can't wear. Everything seems so apocalyptic when all we're trying to do is get together for a birthday party.
Wow.
And like, what is going on?
know,
Go ahead. Sorry.
Why?
Yeah, Kodi, I want to hear from you, Kodi, too, because what would be your thoughts for what some advice for him.
Yeah, you know what? I was gonna go completely left, so I'm glad you got me back
Go
on
left,
track.
go
No,
left.
I was just gonna say, like, why do we feel like we have to hide those feelings? We shouldn't have to hide the feelings that we have. It's a communal despair that we're all going through. We shouldn't have to hide those feelings. Everybody is going through that. The more that we share those feelings, the more connected we will be as a community and as a society, I feel like. So, okay, back to the
In a
topic.
perfect world, absolutely, you're absolutely right. I don't think we have the skill to do that, though, Kodi.
Oh, I hear you.
You know what I mean?
I hear
Or
what you're saying.
some certain
We better
things,
find him.
certain things got kind of nipped in the bud. Like I think we've talked. I don't want to interrupt, but
No,
you
you're
had a
fine.
momentum in the gay community of seeing people week after week, and seeing people at the gym, and then seeing people at the Eagle or walking around on the street, or then seeing them online, and then saying hi here, hi there. We had 23rd Street Crunch close here in Chelsea. That was a
Yeah.
big hi place. Bars were closed for a long time. It's been really, really cold out. There's just a lot of factors there that to get that momentum going again, I think is hard. So just put that microscope on a two-person relationship where you've only been together.
But
It's a
how?
skill set. I think it's hard.
So my point is, how can you overcome a hurdle that you won't even admit is there? Is kind of something that I am trying to point to.
I love that
Does
point.
that make sense?
Yeah, I seem to be
keep
constantly admitting to everyone that it's there. Like people come into
That's
the
why I
bakery, and I'm
love
like,
you.
literally, like I've had people come into the bakery, and I say, "Hey, the last 4 customers, I put my foot straight in my mouth. So welcome to the protein bakery. If you have a question, let me know." Because I went down some road of like, "Hey, blah 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 blah," and the person looked like me, like I had 3 heads, and walked out the store. And I was like, "Wow, what did I say that
Wow.
was so wrong? Why did I?" You know what I
Aw.
mean? And they
I
just wanted to be left alone.
I would have pulled up a chair. Okay.
I know exactly. Here is our couch. So.
Real quick, Kodi, I want to hear what your advice
Okay,
is, though.
so my advice is okay. Oh, I got to refocus now. So my advice is, first of all, I want to commend him for knowing what type of relationship that he wants to have. He wants to have a monogamous relationship. It would be so easy for him to go out there and sleep with any guy that he wants to. I have to commend him for sticking to his guns and saying, you know, I want to be committed to this person and I would like to only have sex with this person. That high
Yes.
five to you, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. Good
Agreed.
point. Thank you.
Number 2, I feel like I kind of pointed out before, they're trying to overcome a hurdle that they won't admit is there. The whole fact that he won't go to the therapist and figure out why he's having these issues should be telling of his mindset. They need to figure out why he's so resistant to actually going to the therapist and addressing these emotional and physical um, ailments or things that are hindering him from actually having sex, because I think that is the first step to him actually healing and to where they will be able to have a more active sex life.
Great point.
Love it.
Yeah, that's really good.
Good
You're right.
stuff. Good
I
stuff.
think we
Let
all
us.
said great things, because once you
We
break
did.
up all the monotony, then you never know where it can lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just
And
to put a bullet on what you just said about the choice of monogamy, the party that we went to yesterday, which was a birthday party for somebody, there's a group of people that were at this party that I used to be out in the world with, like in Berlin
Mhm.
or in back rooms and all that. And Peter and I have made the choice to be monogamous. We've been effortlessly in most ways. We've been monogamous now for over 3 years. I don't
That's
really miss it.
amazing.
I don't miss the fear of did I catch something,
FOMO.
or the idea that I have to be with every single person. Like it's just I've kind of outgrown it for the moment,
I
and
know. Okay, so
that's okay, and that's all right. But there
yeah,
were people at the party yesterday that like kind of snubbed me a little bit. And I was
really.
like, is it because I'm not part of that? Peter and I are not part of that whole polyamorous mindset, that polyamorous community, because I accept that community without being
Exactly.
a part of it. So
Yeah.
why can't that flip flop and accept us at the same time?
The
You know
street
what I
should
mean?
go
So
both
Oh yeah,
ways.
there's always going to be people that are going to be picking on different walls, but you have a strong conviction on where you stand and just stand with that. But
yeah,
yeah, there's always going to be people that are like, well, what's this all about? And you're going to feel that friction.
yeah.
But yeah, you just stand strong with where you're at, and yeah, they'll get the point.
Yeah.
Or we'll move on, because if the train
Or we'll
doesn't
move
stop at
on,
your
right?
station, it's not your train, and that's fine too.
Whoop.
You know what I mean?
Hey.
Well, we had a follow-up advice. I love a good follow-up moment.
Yeah.
And this person really wanted Lincoln's advice too, because the last time we gave advice was Jeremy was on the program. So I should probably I'm going to read the original one, Lincoln, so that you have some bearings on what this was and then go back. So originally, this guy wrote in and he said, I'm 57, a gay man from Boston. I am 5 years out of an 8-year relationship. So it's been 5 years since he was in an 8-year relationship in which I was engaged the last year to my partner, only to find out he had been cheating on me for a year.
Mm.
I called off the wedding. Anyway, I'm ready to date again and have tried all the hookup apps and online dating, including Cupid, Hinge, over the past year, only to find the quality and mind of most of the men in my area to be subpar and scatterbrained and are just gay men with short attention spans looking for the next hot thing. So he asked the question. This, by the again, just to remind everybody, was originally when we first gave advice. With the kind prodding of a straight girlfriend of mine, she has asked me to interview a couple of matchmaking companies with the hope of finding a better suited man. Do you think this is a good idea? He asked at the time. He writes, I'm an average to good looking man and look 10 years younger than my age. I'm financially comfortable and lead a very full life with family, friends, and a business. The matchmaking firms I have talked to have fees from $5,000 to $15,000 range. And also, my experience to date is I can get any number of young men for a hookup or a sugar daddy situation. I'm having plenty of fun I'm having plenty of fun, sexy, kinky sex, and otherwise, by the way. He wanted to know, but the men in a more he wants, so his advice on how I should look for a date or a possible partner at this stage of my life. And he also asked if he thought the matchmaking firm was a good investment. So we gave our advice. Kodi, do you remember when we gave our advice
I
to
remember the
Jim?
question. I don't remember what I
Well, for the most
said.
part, I think we all said it was really good that he approached that. Anyways, let me read his response that he sent us yesterday. He says, hello again, Steve, Jeremy, Lincoln, and Kodi. Thanks for your advice, and I figured I would give an update on the suggestions. I looked into 3 to 4 matchmaking services and was not impressed as I hoped I would be. One, the fee was quite large, 10 to 15,000 for a 10 to 15 introductions.
A
That's quite
lot.
Yeah, it's a
steep.
lot.
Also, the companies were based out of Toronto, New York, San Francisco, and LA, even if they showed offices in my city, which is Boston. So they all said they had limited matches in my area, so that was not a very hopeful in my opinion. I have tried long distance dating with a few guys in the past because I remember we said try the long distance thing. And more successful the guy, the less time they seem to have to put into the dating process, let
Mhm.
alone the fact that we were a plane ride away. I'm passing on that for now. Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Ironically, I have been on the Mister app for a year now. It also has been surprisingly less prosperous than Grinder. I find mostly a lot of uh, on the guys I seem to match with are across the pond or heck in Australia. Oh, well, my friends say it will only take one guy. So I'm thinking as much as I'm not into a bar scene. I'm thinking as much as I'm not into a bar scene, it might be the best way to move forward, question mark. So he's asking, is the bar scene going to be a thing? Any other thoughts of this mature, not so bad looking man to connect with a handsome guy with the goal of dating? And then in parentheses, he writes, Lincoln did not get to weigh in on this, and I appreciate his thoughts as I think we are in a similar age group. Me too. Do you all have any other suggestions for a mature man like myself to meet decent, similar looking, happy, and sane men to date? I'm sure I'm not the only 50 something man out there that is wondering if being single is better than these apps and difficult dating scene, question mark. He loves the podcast and he loves us. Thanks, Jim in Boston. That's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
Do you have a full understanding, Lincoln?
I do.
Of this, or do you?
I
Okay,
do.
okay,
So, first of all, I would have said, first of all,
good.
this is not easy.
Yeah.
This is not.
Thank you.
This is
Thank you
not
for putting that to rest. Yeah, thank you.
Right. And you need to let go immediately of, if I do this, this result will happen. Like 1 + 1 = 2.
Oh, yes.
It's not going to work
Ooh.
that way, especially in 2022, especially with our community and all the things going on in our community. It's just
In
not
the crazy world that's
it's
we're
a crazy
living
world.
in right
So I
now.
would say go for the matchmaker, go for the apps, go to a bar, look online, see if there are meetups that are like, gay professionals that go to a museum, gay professionals that go to the theater, gay people. There are tons of groups and activities out there, and just go to have a good time. Do not go anywhere looking
Yep.
for a result,
Yes.
because you are 56 years old, right? Was that the age?
Yes.
50s. Okay. And you're in your 50s. You're alive. A lot of us in our 50s who are gay men know a lot of people that didn't make it to this age. We have a lot to be grateful for. Own the life that you're living without a partner. Get as strong as you can with the individual and the person that you are. And all of your friends are right. It just takes one.
Yep.
It just takes one click of a button and one decision to go. And I say click of a button like in your mind. You could see someone and be like, oh, they're not as tall as I thought my boyfriend would be. But because you're not looking for a boyfriend and you're just hanging out with a bunch of people, and this guy, all of a sudden his height doesn't matter because you guys are connecting. Like, just to me, try your best to let as much go of cause and effect and results oriented, and just enjoy it for, give yourself some time. Like, to me, time frames help. Like, I went to Bear Week in Provincetown 4 years in a row. And after that time, I was like, you know what? I'm going to shift and do something else with my time, because I'm not finding it there. That, like, I want to shift and change my pattern to create some chaos in what I'm doing so that I meet new people in new circles. If you always take the same train to your work every single day, take a different path. You might run into
Yes.
somebody.
I
Take
love
a
that.
different vehicle. Take a different choice. You know what I mean?
Lincoln, I want to piggyback off of exactly what you're saying because you were walking down 19th Street,
Yep.
correct?
Yeah.
19th Street when you met Peter, who lived in your neck of the woods. And that's the thing. The thing I've been doing too is, as I'm walking now and I'm getting out there and spring here in New York is happening, I'm walking around. There's a guy that I've been talked to several times. He works at Whole Foods downstairs in my building. Downstairs is a Whole Foods. And so I we've always had this connection. I know he's gay because he said he saw me at the Madam X tour. And he said, I saw you there. And I was like, oh, wow. I did. So that told me, okay, he's gay.
And you love
And
Madonna. Oh my God.
yeah,
Marriage.
and the funny thing is he didn't. I don't think you can break your knee, but something severe happened to his knee, like my ankle, right? And so he has seen me, and we have conversations about recovery with my ankle, and he says, "You're going to get through this." And I keep thinking, is now the time I should ask him out? Because he's so like he's such a nice guy, and I think if nothing else, a date would be like, and I'm pretty sure we could at least do that. Where it would go from that, I don't know. The gods aren't telling me that yet. The crystal ball isn't telling me that. But I just think to what you're saying is to, again, with that word pivot,
There you
Lincoln,
go.
is to kind of put yourself out there. This guy lives in Boston. So like New York, not Boston has so many microcosmic neighborhoods too. And maybe just put yourself out there. It doesn't, yes, the bar scene, yes, go to
Yeah,
some things,
just keep
but
going. You know what I mean?
like you walking on 19th Street, me walking to Whole Foods, he it's not like he lives in Fresno, California. I mean,
And the
and I
thing
know
is,
you know what that is.
yeah,
Yeah.
in the age that we're living in, there's been such a shuffle of the cards to begin with. People who used to go to the
Yes.
office every day are still working at home, and they might not go to the office every day. People who lived in New York who
Correct.
could, or lived in Boston who couldn't afford to live there anymore, ran away to Wilton Manors, or like to
Yeah,
San
right.
Francisco, or they ran back to Australia or the UK, which is why this guy might connect with people like that. If
Hmm.
he has the funds and he's comfortable to travel again, go to the UK, go to a different city. Just, you might go to the UK, have a great time there, not meet anyone, and come back with a new perspective in your mind. Go to the grocery store and run into someone and be like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Oh.
Yeah. And Stephen, I'm with your Whole Foods situation. I wouldn't push the date, quote unquote. I would just keep getting to know that person and be like, "Hey, do you want to go grab a coffee sometime?" Don't call it a date. Don't call it like, let's just let life play for a while,
Yeah.
I
enjoy
love
the
that.
time, and then someone's going to turn and go, "Hey, would you like to go on a date with me?" And
I
talk
love
about a
it.
Oh.
pivot.
Yeah.
You're
And
gonna
then you
turn and
don't
go,
have to
"Wait,
pay.
what?"
Look, I got some
And
advice here too, Cody.
and I can almost promise you that when someone turns to you and goes, "Do you wanna go on a date?" You're gonna be, "Wait, you want me? No, this isn't gonna work.
Yep.
I have to be the
Yeah.
one who asks. You can't ask me." Because that's the way our
But let
psychology
it
works.
play
You
out
know what I
is
mean?
what you're
Just
saying. Let
let
it
it
play
play
out,
out, and
and life, and you know what? That's where life has given me a different turn of events with my ankle, and I have really gotten to know my neighbors and the people that work downstairs and the people that work, and life is different, and I like what life is serving me right now. i'm I'm a different person than I was before I broke my ankle, I'm just going to say. And I like who I'm turning out to be. I like who I'm meeting. I like the potential of who I could potentially meet. I'm open to having a coffee with somebody, but life is different prior to when I broke my ankle. It just is.
Hmm.
And I love the prospects. And there are prospects. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
say
I
that.
get
So
it.
um I know we gone a little off track, and I want to hear from your
Yes.
advice. We gotta,
Yes.
Cody.
get it.
Yeah.
So you guys stole all my advice first and foremost. Okay. I couldn't agree more. I say enjoy the time that you're living in right now, because once you meet that person, this time is not going to be there anymore. You're not going to have this moment in time ever again. So
Ooh.
enjoy being single, enjoy going out and talking to people, and eventually the person that you would like to have as your partner will come to you, and then it will be a done deal. I will say though, it sounds like he's having a little bit of burnout as far as the whole dating scene is concerned. Take some time to get to know yourself, take some time for yourself. Maybe you want to take a break from all the dating, and in that time you can just kind of have self dates, self love, if you want to, like we talk about all the time on the show. So have a date with yourself, and the more that you actually put yourself out there, and the more you know yourself, the better off the mate that you eventually do have will be for you.
Can I add one thing to what
Yeah.
you just said? Because it's very, very true. Take care of yourself. The money you were going to spend on a matchmaker, which that was really a lot of money,
Yeah.
go to therapy, go to the gym, go to the doctor, make sure you're getting all of your things done so you can live another 40 years. And when you meet that person, you have a long time with them. Make sure that you're taking care of your health, that you're taking care of your mind, your body, your finances, all that stuff, so that you're ready, and then the train will stop at your station.
That's right.
Such great advice. So exactly where I'm at too. I mean, I've gotten, I've always wanted to meditate and I always loved the idea of meditation. I now meditate for the last 2 months every morning, 10 minutes. I just do 10
That's
minutes.
all you
I
need.
have my stones. I have my quartz crystal that I put in my left hand, but I
Aw.
have, and 10 minutes, I just, I breathe, I meditate, I set an intention for the day. I can tell you, I have manifested certain things because of my meditation. But it's to your point, Lincoln, it's setting a tone on making, my health too at 50. And we're speaking to a 50-year-old here, is so important to me. Things change when you're 50. I'm just going to put that out there. I have looked at my health more so than ever. I listen to my doctor. I do everything. It's things change a little bit in your 50s, and I think you are about your health and wellness. Would you not agree with that, Lincoln?
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then, I mean, look at the way the pandemic just shifted everyone's health in
Yeah.
so many different, ways. What is it, like 89% of the people that died of COVID were obese?
Wow.
Like,
Yes.
if you want to
Yeah.
fight COVID and not dying from COVID, weight control. And we all gained the weight because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Right.
Some people did not. I know I'm speaking in generalities, but
Yeah.
for the most part, people's health went, screw it. I'm having a Snickers.
I
This
might go
is
have one
ridiculous.
right
I
now.
You know what I
did.
mean? Like, I want the Oreos. I don't need the healthy stuff.
I was
You
having
are
some good
making me
Oreos.
hungry.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I hope that helps. I hope let us
And let
know
us
where you're
know.
at.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was going to
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Let us
Thanks for
know.
following
Thank
up on
you.
that. We love a good follow-up story, and I hope this helped for you. You can always ask for advice from us. We love giving solicited advice. You can email us, go to tagspodcast.com or DM us at tagspodcast on Instagram. Thanks, guys. This has been such a awesome show.
Yes.
Follow my co-host, follow Lincoln on Instagram at, oh my gosh, at
Do you need help?
what?
Mad
I
Mad
do.
Lincoln,
Lincoln.
MAD Lincoln. That's my personal one. And just Protein Bakery, PROTEIN Bakery, both on Instagram. And yay, say hello. I've had a lot of people that listen to the podcast come in, buy stuff at the bakery, and then, like, right on their way out, they're like, by the way, I listened to you on the podcast. Bye, Lincoln. And they
That's
leave.
so
And I'm like, what's
cute.
happening? So now that things are
Love
opening
it.
again, if you visit New York, come visit. I love it.
Kodi, you've got two. I'm going to let you tell yours too because I
Okay.
have brain fart.
Perfectly fine. We all do that. We all have brain farts. KMD coaching for my life coaching services. I want to focus on relationship coaching. And also, if you like thoughty pictures, come follow me at Mr. Maurice, MISTAH MAURICE. Thank you very much.
Love it. Guys, so much fun. Thanks for all your insights. And in the meantime, guys, continue having hot, gay
Sex.
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 Yes.
Yeah.